Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be driven while others struggle to get out of bed? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? Our lives are deeply colored by this invisible force we call motivation. It's the fuel that fires our actions, the guiding compass that steers our decisions. But what exactly is motivation? Is it a simple, straightforward concept, or does it hide more than it reveals? It's time to delve deeper. Motivation, it turns out, is not as straightforward as it may seem. Motivation isn't just a matter of willpower, it's a complex interplay of neurochemical processes. Now let's dive into the science behind motivation. At the heart of this process is a neurotransmitter called dopamine, often referred to as the reward chemical. Why? Because dopamine is released in our brain when we do something that feels good, like completing a task or achieving a goal. This release of dopamine creates a sense of pleasure and reward, which motivates us to repeat the behavior. Imagine you're working on a challenging project. You've been at it for hours, but finally, you solve the problem you've been grappling with. That rush of satisfaction you feel, that's dopamine. It's your brain's way of saying, "Good job, that was worth the effort." This creates a cycle of motivation and achievement. The more tasks you complete, the more dopamine is released, and the more motivated you become to keep achieving. But here's where things get interesting. There are two types of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. It's driven by personal satisfaction and the joy of doing something for its own sake. It's the artist who paints because they love the act of creation, or the athlete who runs for the sheer pleasure of feeling their body in motion. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation is driven by external rewards or punishments. It's the student who studies hard to get good grades, or the employee who works late to earn a promotion. While extrinsic motivation can be powerful, studies show that intrinsic motivation often leads to deeper engagement and more sustainable long-term achievement. In essence, our brains are wired to motivate us. They reward us for fulfilling tasks, and this reward system drives us to keep seeking out new achievements. Whether it's the intrinsic joy of doing something we love or the extrinsic reward of achieving a goal, motivation is deeply rooted in our neurobiology. So next time you're feeling unmotivated, remember, your brain is built to motivate you. It's a finely tuned machine constantly driving you towards your goals and rewarding you every step of the way. Our brain is a motivation machine, constantly driving us towards our goals. Goals are the fuel that feed our motivation. Imagine embarking on a journey without a destination in mind. You might wander aimlessly, overcome by frustration and disillusionment, but with a clear, achievable goal ahead, you're imbued with purpose and drive. Goals are the catalyst that sparks our ambition, igniting our motivation like a flame. They give us a sense of direction, a path to tread upon, and a destination to reach. But not just any goals, they must be SMART. Specific, that is clear and well-defined. Measurable, so we can track our progress. Achievable, pushing us, but not beyond our limits. Relevant, aligning with our values and larger life objectives. And finally, time-bound, giving us a timeline to work towards. These SMART goals act as our compass, guiding us through the labyrinth of life. They keep us focused, encourage persistence, and ultimately lead us to success. A well-defined goal is like a beacon, guiding us towards success. But what happens when motivation dips? How do we regain our drive? It's a common occurrence, our motivation taking a nosedive. We've all been there, wrestling with motivation killers like burnout, stress, or the frustration of seeing no progress despite our best efforts. But there's good news. We can overcome these motivation slumps. Firstly, don't forget to take breaks. Yes, you heard it right. As counterintuitive as it may seem, stepping away from your work can recharge your batteries and reignite your motivation. Then there's self-care. This is not just about bubble baths and candles. It's about nourishing your mind and body, getting enough sleep, eating well, and moving your body. Lastly, celebrate small victories. Each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Celebrating these can provide a powerful boost to your motivation. Remember, motivation is not a constant. It ebbs and flows. But with the right strategies, we can keep it flowing more often than not. So we've seen how complex and powerful motivation can be. But what does this mean for you? Let's reflect. The science of motivation illuminates our understanding of why we do what we do. Setting clear, achievable goals gives us direction and purpose. And when motivation slumps, we now have strategies to reignite our drive. All these elements combined create a potent force. Harness the power of motivation. and there's no limit to what you can achieve.